Day, featuring the Noles head coach, Jay Sircosta, and our host, Jeff Stevens.
No matter what size you are, maybe it's time to transform your physique. For your convenience, Transforming Physiques is open all day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Thursday, Fridays till 7, and Saturday 9 to 3. Take advantage of free weights and heavy-duty workout equipment. For expert advice, call trainer Jay Abel to schedule one-on-one fitness training. Aerobic classes will be starting in September. Adult, student, and family memberships are available at Transforming Physiques Fitness Center and Tanning Salon. The Woodsfield Clinic, a division of Wheeling Hospital, opened recently with familiar and friendly faces in the office. Joan and Janie know our area and many of the patients, which is a huge asset to the clinic. Dr. Charles D'Annunzio brings 30 years of healthcare experience and is focused on the needs of a rural practice. The Woodsfield Clinic will be expanding to 5 days a week starting September 6th to meet community needs. We are here because you ask us to be. A division of Wheeling Hospital, finding solutions, serving with care.
Students are able to get a very good education, gain some valuable experiences, and they don't have to leave or go far away to do it.
Whatever I wanted to do, I could go down to Athens and everything to transfer down.
So not only is it close to home, it's a decent price. Small classrooms and a friendly atmosphere. It just makes for a great place to start or even go all the way with the whole degree.
Ohio University Eastern. It's a new day.
You'll be pleasantly surprised at the clean and beautiful used furniture and appliances at Bob's, like this Hard Rock Maple Dining Room suit at only $5.99, or this 5-piece kitchen set. Like new and antique bed frames, new bedding, and bedroom suits. Plus recliners, tables, desks, dressers, and lots of other items with inventory constantly changing. Appliances are priced to sell. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, and this upright freezer at only $319. The price is right at Bob's Used Furniture and Appliances.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for tonight's Coach's Corner. Game number 9 saw the Seminoles defeat the Frontier Cougars 41-6. And on tonight's show, we will visit with all 11 senior members of this year's football team as they get ready to play their final game of their high school careers. And we'll also look at highlights of last Friday night's game before looking ahead to this year's Week 10 opponents, the Tyler Consolidated Silver Knights. Well, this past Friday night, Coach, the weather conditions weren't real good to start with, but overall, the Seminoles probably put together their best 4 quarters of football of the year.
Well, maybe, we're meant to play on kind of under adverse conditions on bad nights because, we got a win against Shenandoah and it kind of rained and it wasn't too nice then. This past Friday night, it wasn't real nice weather-wise, although it did kind of clear off, quit raining, and the second half wasn't too bad, really. But the field held up real good. I thought maybe the conditions in that situation would be a little worse, but things worked out real well, and we did get a big win. And we were concerned about Frontier coming in. Frontier was a football team that had only won 1 game, but they defeated a team that's having a great year this year in River, and they had a hard time. In fact, they didn't stop them. Their running back Sawyers ran and he ran and he ran. He scored all 36 points, and we were concerned about stopping that running game. But our defense did another good job. In fact, probably could have had a shutout, but we didn't. They got a score, but we put some points on the board, and that's something that we've talked about on many occasions that we knew that we had to do in order to stay in the win column. So, a good win over Frontier, and that was anytime you win is good.
Well, I know always getting out to a lead in the first quarter is always good. So, for the first time this year, getting 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, you really couldn't write a better script for that.
Right. Well, we felt it was important to get off quick against a team like Frontier. They kind of answered with everybody that they played. If somebody scored on them, they'd come back and score, and somebody had to get 2 or 3 touchdowns on them before they started getting down a little bit and pull away, and then they started making some turnovers, committing some turnovers. But it was important that we got on the board early and got a lead there. I felt that we were up 21-0, and we kind of created a turnover that didn't go our way. Tyler Knowlton had a big hit, and I thought we could have had the ball back and possibility of going up 28-0, but they ended up putting one on the board, but our kids responded real well and came away with the win.
You know, and then for the season stats, there, you know, that's a season high of points, season high as far as yards rushing. So it's just nice to accomplish some things there when the team has struggled in those areas all year.
Yeah, and one thing that we hadn't done all year long, Jeff, and that was run the football. And in fact, going into last Friday night's game, we had 2 rushing touchdowns, which is unheard of for us because the running game is something that we usually establish first and then throw the ball after that. But we'd only had 2 rushing touchdowns prior to that, and so we did get the ball going on the ground. I thought Zach Ring had his best game to date. He had over 100 yards rushing. Buck Wiley had over 100 yards the week before, and you know, I thought Buck complimented him real nice. He had about 60 or 70 yards rushing, and then Torrey Prickett had a run here and there, and so I thought our running game was much better than what it had been in the past, and we got some people in the end zone, and we even got Eddie into the action, and I'm sure we'll see him on the highlights because you gave him a promise that if he got one in the end zone the week before that he'd be on the highlights.
I was a little concerned during the game, though, that he would probably be politicking for play of the week on there, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But then at the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, you not only were you able to get your JV unit on the field, but then those young men were able to score a touchdown, and I'm sure that was a thrill for them.
Yeah, that's not something you don't see all the time. Usually at the end of the game, in a varsity game, you put some of the younger players in, and they're just happy to get in the game. But our kids responded by scoring a touchdown, and Mike Russell, a freshman, ran from the tailback spot, and he ran real well and got several carries, and our kids up front did a nice job, and we got the ball in the end zone, got another touchdown. It's not that we were looking to try to score again, but you can't tell those kids not to play, not to score, and they did a nice job and tacked another touchdown on at the end.
And then this past Monday night, those kids went to Frontier and played their last JV game of the year and had another real good night.
Exactly. They finished up the JV schedule with a win against Frontier this past Monday night. I think it was a 35-6 win. And so the JVs only lost 1 game this year. They lost early on the first game that they played actually against Shadyside, and then ran the table. So Coach Singleton, Coach Triffenoff did a nice job with the JVs this year, and that's what I tell those young men. That's why we schedule those games, to give them experience of playing in a game situation against somebody else, and they realize that we don't get an opportunity to work with them a lot during the week because you only have 2 days to prepare, Tuesday and Wednesday heavy, and then you time things up on Thursday and you're playing on Friday, so that limits your time to work with the JVs. But they kept getting better and better each week, and we're real proud of how some of those young kids responded and the job they did at the JV level.
Well, one final question for this segment, and it's something we've not talked about any during the season, as far as the PVC title, but should Caldwell defeat Shenandoah tomorrow night, then we would be tied for the PVC lead first place, and I think it may be a 4-way tie for first.
Right. We finished our PVC schedule last week against Frontier with a win, and that gave us a 4-2 record in the PVC. This next game tomorrow night against Tyler is a non-PVC game, so it doesn't figure in those standings, and we just have to sit back and hope that Caldwell can get the job done against Shenandoah, because at this present time Shenandoah only has 1 loss. We have 2 losses, Caldwell has 2 losses, and River has 2 losses. So a loss by Shenandoah to Caldwell will allow all 4 teams to end up with 4-2 records and a share of the PVC championship. So we've done what we could do, and now we just have to sit back and kind of pull for Caldwell to defeat Shenandoah, which is a rival game.
And it sure would be nice, when things weren't going well during the course of the year, to be able to say that you had a piece of a championship, when back a few weeks ago, I'm sure that was the farthest thing from on your mind.
Well, usually when you finish with a record of 5-5, we hope that you don't usually figure into a conference championship, but being that you only play 6 conference games in the PVC, and a 4-2 record puts us in the hunt anyway. So that's all we can hope for now. That would be a nice thing for our seniors to go out with a share of the PVC championship, and the fact that we may not have the record that we set out to have at the beginning of the year, and it's not something by our standards, it's the type of record that we've had in the past. but share the conference championship in the PVC would be nice, and to finish at 5-5, as I told our young men, it's not a winning season, it's not a losing season, it's basically an even record of 5-5. But when you look back at all the things that have transpired and happened this year, you look at the beginning of the year, we had so many turnovers. I think 13 turnovers in the first 3 ball games, so we're probably fortunate to even win game number 1, but we suffered through some tough times at the beginning of the year. We made a lot of mistakes, and we kind of got the turnovers worked out a little bit, but we struggled with the fact that we couldn't get the ball in the end zone. Our defense played sound all year long and kept us in every ball game and gave us an opportunity to win. So coming out 5-5, which is going to be a tough task against a good football team in Tyler, would be a real plus and end things up on a winning note. And as we've mentioned before, you know, it's nice to get in the playoffs. When you can't get in the playoffs, it's always nice to finish with a win, because once you get in the playoffs, unless you win the state championship, you cannot finish with a win, and you always seem to have to end things on kind of a sad note.
Well, we mentioned the 11 members of the senior class there and some things that they have going for them. And while you're watching this commercial, we're going to try to figure out a way to get all 11 of those seniors into one picture. So we'll try to do that right after this.
GAP Wireless is your hometown wireless agent. That's great news for you, because now you don't have to drive 30 miles or more if you have a simple problem with your cell phone. Maybe your current plan just isn't right for you and the way you use your phone. Well, GAP Wireless is your one-stop shop for wireless. Stop in to customize your plan, pick up accessories, or check out the latest audio and video streaming camera phone with a radio. GAP Wireless is an Alltel authorized agent.
Green Acres is the place to go.
If you've been waiting for a deal like this on Polaris ATVs just in time for hunting season and hauling firewood, with the Polaris factory authorized clearance, you could get a rebate of up to $1,000, free double warranty, and $69 a month financing on select Polaris ATVs. Green Acres Power Sports, Route 2, Glendale, West Virginia, is the place to go this fall. But hurry, the clearance sale ends October 31st.
Emergencies happen 24 hours a day. When seconds count and options matter, you need access to a facility close to home. An emergency room in a hospital with a direct link to Ohio State University medical specialists. Doctors and nurses there for you 24 hours a day. The emergency services at Barnesville Hospital are ready when seconds count. What option will you choose? Urgent care with limited hours, or 24-hour care from an accredited hospital? Barnesville Hospital Emergency Services.
If you're around others that smoke, you are at risk.
Sitting behind someone who is smoking in a stadium for 3 hours is the same thing as a non-smoker smoking 1 cigarette. Riding in a car with somebody who is smoking with the windows rolled up for 1 hour is the same as a non-smoker smoking 4 cigarettes.
And sitting in the non-smoking section of a restaurant is just like smoking 1.5 cigarettes.
Your choice leaves us no choice.
To learn how to protect yourself and others from secondhand smoke, call Monroe County Tobacco Use Prevention and Control at 472-1677. Would you like to break the tobacco habit? We can help. Call Tammy at the Monroe County Health Department, 472-1677, extension 204.
The group you now see before you will be all 11 members of this year's senior class. And first of all, we'll go through and to let everyone reintroduce themselves in case you've forgotten who they are. Starting here to my left.
Dexter Hughes, quarterback, safety. Tyler Knowlton, tight end, defensive end.
Nick Billman, receiver, D-back.
Brandon Raines, center, defensive tackle.
Eddie McConnell, tackle. Mike English, left guard, defensive tackle.
Buck Wiley, fullback, linebacker.
Chris Lazier, tight end, defensive tackle.
Billy Robson, wide receiver, defensive end.
Justin Hogue, wide receiver, safety.
Stephen Havig, tackle, end.
We'll ask a couple of questions here to each member, and hopefully we'll get some different responses. But 2 parts of the question here, gentlemen. What is your favorite memory, or what will be a lasting memory that you'll take from your years as a member of the Seminole football program? And secondly, what will you miss most, or what will you not miss about your years in the program? Starting here to my left with Dexter.
I'd have to say my most fondest memory would either be going 10-0 my freshman year or getting coached the record my junior year as being a starter. And the thing I'd say I'd most miss is just the guys you see behind me. They're a great group of young men, and I'm really going to miss them. And I'd say the thing I won't miss is just getting up early for 2 days.
The thing that's probably the most memorable moment for me would be going to the playoffs first 3 years of my career, and getting coach's record. And the thing I'm probably going to miss the most is 2 days to be with my friends.
My favorite moment was the Fort Fry game this year, and the thing I'll miss the most is lifting during summer.
My favorite moment was going to playoffs in my freshman and sophomore year, and the thing I remember the most is these guys right here, and all the times in the locker room that were spent, and I'd say I can't miss anything that this program has to offer.
The most thing I miss would be all these guys. The most memorable thing I have is probably getting coach's record and going 10-0 my freshman year.
The thing I'll miss most is playing in the games and getting coach's record. Or that's the thing, that's my memorable moment. The thing I'll miss most is hanging out with all the guys.
My most memorable moment is just being on this football team for 4 years. And the thing that I'm really going to miss is all the rest of these guys staying around me.
My most memorable moment would be getting coach's record junior year, and the thing I'll probably miss the most is waiting for the game and anticipation before we go out there, run through the teepee. There's no other feeling than that.
My favorite memorable moment was getting coach's record, and the thing I will miss the most is hanging out with everybody from freshmen to juniors, sophomores, and seniors.
The most memorable thing I had was the Shenandoah game this year, and went 10-0 my freshman year. And I'll miss running out on the field on Friday nights, and that's just the best feeling there is.
My most memorable moment would be just being with the team, and the thing I miss the most is strapping the pads on and stepping on that field.
Well, you can see, it covers quite a bit of territory here with 4 years, as most of these young men have been involved in the program for 4 years, and all of them have been here at least for 2 years. Kind of surprising that nobody mentioned their favorite moment was their appearances on Coach's Corner on that. But Coach, you get the last word.
Well, first of all, I kind of thought maybe Eddie would say his favorite moment or thing he remembered best was scoring a touchdown last week. But really, each and every one of these guys talked about what they'll miss, and we're going to miss all of them because, I've told a lot of people so many times that there's not a bad kid on this whole football team, and this is a bunch of good senior athletes and a bunch of good senior young men. They always conduct themselves in an orderly fashion. We haven't had really any problems with them throughout the course of not only this year, but their 4 years. And the only thing that I probably regret more than anything is I really would like to have seen this group go out with a little better record than what they're going to go out with because they deserve better than that record-wise. But they've had a lot of memorable moments throughout the course of their 4 years that they've played here at Monroe Central High School. And, I can look back at each and every one of them when they came into the program, whether it be as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And I can think of a lot of things that I remember about each and every one of them. And every year we have a group of seniors that you hate to see go, and this is no exception. We'd like to have these guys back for another year or two, but that's not the way it works, and these guys have to go on to bigger and better things. And I only hope that they have picked up something throughout the course of their 4 years with us, which most of them have been with us for 4 years, but that they've picked up something that they'll be able to use later on in life, and that will help them out in life no matter what they do, whether they go on to school, whether they don't go on to school, whatever they may do when they have a family, and something that they can carry with them to make them a better person in life, and I'm sure that'll be the case. And just want to take this opportunity to wish all these guys the best throughout the course of their life, and no matter what they might do. And as we always tell them, even though they've graduated, we want to welcome them to come back at any time, and because that's what it's all about. And they paid the sacrifice. They've done a lot of things that a lot of young men wouldn't do in the 4 years that they've been in the program. So hopefully we can finish this thing up with the win tomorrow night, and as I told them, that's the best we can do right now, end up 5-5, and hopefully we'll be able to do that tomorrow night, and we're going to remember these guys for a long time, that's for sure.
Well, it's always interesting to see how many of the players come back then too, and I know, as you say, you always welcome them back, because once a Seminole, always a Seminole. And maybe, you know, a couple of these guys then, after tomorrow night, they'll be able to say that their favorite memory was Friday night's game against Tyler Consolidated.
Well, I think too, Jeff, the other thing is when they talk about what they miss, I think they're going to find out how much they miss the opportunity to play once they do not have that opportunity to play. When they come back next year and they're on the sidelines or in the stands watching the other young men play, they're going to realize how much they do miss it, and even the things they didn't like to do a lot, like going through the two-a-days and all the running and different things they have to do that you don't look forward to. You'd gladly take those things and be able to do those things again and have an opportunity to play again. So there's no doubt that they're going to miss it, but like I say, they're going to go on to bigger and better things in their life, and I'm sure they're going to be very, very successful because they are, you know, very good young men with a lot of character.
Well, this is your 11-man senior class of the 2005 Seminole football team. Gentlemen, anybody have one last comment they'd like to make? It's your last chance. Well, we'll see some of these young men in action next with highlights from the Frontier game right after this.
A good football team works together, helping each other to do their best. A good insurance agency works together too, showing you the best coverage for you and your family. F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency represents several companies, so you benefit from personally designed coverage for your home, autos, or business. Talk to one of their agents about all your insurance needs, including life insurance and annuities. As they continue to look out for your future, F.W. Shoemaker Agency is celebrating over 100 years of service. The Seminoles and F.W. Shoemaker Agency, two winning traditions.
When we first opened our doors in 1929, Marietta Memorial Hospital marked the beginning of a commitment to healthcare in our community. From the start, the vision of compassionate care has been the standard for all that we do. Through the years, Marietta Memorial has been a leader in our community with advancements in both patient care and technology. As we celebrate our 75th anniversary, we continue that commitment, working to make a measurable difference in the health of the community where we live and work.
Strong as our people, Ohio Valley Community Credit Union.
We've moved. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union, formerly located on 2nd Street in Marietta, is now located at 450 L Pike Street in the Lafayette Center. So stop by our Lafayette Center location to find out how you can become a member of the credit union. Membership now available to everyone in Washington County. Be a winner. Catch a great deal on a new or pre-owned car or truck at Knowlton Ford. Look at the selection in the lot or let them use their locator service to find exactly what you want. Knowlton's have served Monroe County with quality Ford parts and service for 4 generations. And there's still a Home Light dealer offering sales, service, and parts. So why not let Mike help you reach your goal when it comes to your next vehicle? Be a winner. Shop Knowlton Ford.
Your first scoring opportunity of the game is set up by a nice punt return by Jordan Wells.
Cougars punting deep out of their own territory here, and Jordan does the first thing that's necessary, and it says he catches the football on a bounce, takes it outside, picks up a couple nice blocks, and almost takes this thing all the way. Right here he gets it deep into their territory after being thrown out of bounds.
The game's first touchdown, Zach Ring shows his speed.
Right here, Zach scores his first touchdown of the night on an outside belly play, fake inside to Buck, which we had given to him the play before, then give to Zach, and he just takes it out to the corner and goes to the pylon and takes it in for a score.
On the defensive side of the ball, senior Stephen Habig records a CBL.
One of their most positive plays offensively have been their counter or reverse action here to the wingman. So we worked on that all week long, and they hand back to him. But Stephen Habig is right there, and he gets help from Cole Lewis, number 7, to make the stop behind the line of scrimmage.
Senior lineman Eddie McConnell records a sack.
Well, we talked before how hard Eddie is to control and block, and here he comes right up the middle and is unstoppable when he makes a big sack on the quarterback.
Senior Dexter Hughes avoids some pressure and turns a loss into a big gain.
Right here we're out of the slot I. We're going to throw the football, and Dexter finds nobody open, so he'll take off running with the football and does a nice job stepping up and getting away from a would-be tackle right there and going in between a few others and picking up a big first down.
The guys up front give Buck Wiley some running room.
Nice job of the offensive line with the inside quick trap. Here Buck will run out of the fullback position and take it up the middle. You'll see number 77, Mike English, pull and trap. Stephen Habe gets a nice block there. Eddie McConnell gets a nice block. And Buck takes it up the middle for nice yardage.
On the same possession, Buck Wiley finds the end zone.
Right here Buck will do a nice job actually running out of a tackle. You'll see that he goes off the left side here, and right here they get him around the waist, but he just runs right out of that tackle and into the end zone for a touchdown.
Stephen Habe at 6'5", deflects this pass.
Well, you always tell your defensive linemen on their pass rush when they're throwing the football to get their hands up, and when you got a guy like Stephen Habe who's 6'5", it's pretty difficult to throw over top of him, and right here he does a great job of getting his hands up and knocks the ball down. There's no way that the quarterback could see the receiver.
Eddie McConnell in the Frontier backfield once again.
Well, you know, it's tough to block Eddie, but when you don't block him, there's no way of stopping him. And right here, they don't block him, and he comes straight through off their right side and makes a big tackle in the backfield. Nice defensive play by Eddie McConnell.
Your quarterback, Dexter Hughes, scrambles for yardage.
Now here we line up in a shotgun formation, and Dexter has no one to throw the ball to, and gets a little pressure, so he takes it up the middle and does a nice job right here, getting away from a couple guys, and then takes a pretty good hit here at the end, and one of their defensive backs, but picks up nice yardage.
Eddie McConnell's first carry of the year, first touchdown.
Right here we line up in a power high. Most of the time we line Eddie up in the power high. We utilize him as a blocker. Here he'll line up to the left and come back to the right. Watch his legs keep moving, and he takes that big body into the end zone for a touchdown. Nice job on his first carry for his first touchdown of his career.
Let's take a look at Kyle Singleton's third PAT kick of the night.
Well, Kyle had a great night, 5 out of 6, and here he booms it through. Nice form, keeps his head down, and a nice end-over-end kick right down the middle.
If this were the Big Ten, Coach, maybe you could have gotten a booth review on this play.
Well, it definitely would have proved that it was a fumble, because right here, Tyler Knowlton, 82, comes and hits the quarterback from behind, and the ball comes loose and should have been a fumble or football, but they ruled it his arm was going forward, which the only way his arm was going forward is when he got hit. So great play defensively by Tyler Knowlton.
Cole Lewis, Mike English, and Buck Wiley combined for a loss.
Nice defensive effort by all three of those guys, Jeff, and they're moving the ball a little bit here, so this is a big play on the defensive side of the ball for us. They got a little mix-up in the backfield, and we got three guys around the football.
After Frontier started to put together a nice drive, Stephen Habe makes a big defensive play.
Well, they're moving the football deep in our territory, and here Stephen comes up with an excellent defensive play right here to get a big CBL, and that is just exactly what our defense needed.
Zach Ring gets this possession off to a nice start.
Right here you can see by this run by Zach Ring what experience will do for a sophomore running back. He's gotten better and better each and every game this year, and here he does an excellent job making several nice cuts, and had he kept his balance right here, he might have gone the distance.
Zach Ring will now finish this possession.
Nice run, another nice run here by Zach Ring. We're lined up in a I formation with the wing to this side, and we'll run the counter play, which we had done so many times, and you'll see him take it off the left side. Then he'll make a nice cut right here, and then utilize his speed, picks up an excellent block from Tyler Knowlton, and takes it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Extra point added by Kyle Singleton.
Another nice job here by Kyle Singleton on the extra point. Got a good snap, good hold, and nice kick down the middle, end over end.
Zach Ring nearly breaks this long run to the end zone.
Another nice run by Zach Ring here. He'll make another nice cut and almost takes it in the end zone right here. Takes a straight handoff off the left side. Behind the block by Buck Wiley. Cuts it back and then just gets shoestring tackled there, and he gets it down to the 1 yard line.
Zach Ring finds the end zone for the third time this evening.
Now we'll line up in a power eye formation here to the left with Eddie McConnell at the blocking back or at the strong back. And right there, Zach Ring makes a nice cut and gets it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Kyle Singleton adds his 5th PAT kick of the evening.
Well, if you can follow the ball through all the smoke here after the touchdown, Jeff, you'll see Kyle puts the foot into it again. Nice form, kicks it end over end down the middle, 5 straight in a row.
From his left defensive end position, Stephen Habig, hands in the air, blocks another pass.
Well, here again, as big as Stephen is, when he gets his hands up, it's very difficult to throw the ball over him. The only option you have is to try to go through him or around him, and right here he swats another one down here.
Freshman running back Mike Russell shows good balance, turns this into a nice game.
Now the younger kids into the ball game now, we're running out of a slot eye, and Mike Russell's at tailback, takes a handoff from Cole Lewis, does a nice job going off the left side, lowers his shoulder, keeps his footing by putting his hand down, and takes it on now for a nice run.
A freshman's dream. Touchdown, Mike Russell.
Well, a lot of nice carries on this drive by Mike Russell, and here he'll line up at tailback and take it in for his first varsity touchdown. The sweep off the right side. He cuts behind his blockers right here and gets spun around but takes us into the end zone. Nice run by Mike Russell.
Senior defensive end Billy Brobson will make a tackle.
Well, you see him lined up to the right of the screen here, number 80, Billy Brobson, and he'll step in. They try to run the ball off tackle, and he steps in, does a nice job making the tackle.
An all-around great night is capped off by a Cougar fumble and a Seminole recovery.
We're watching number 51 here, Marta Stevens from his linebacker position, break through, utilizes speed, gets a hand on the ball carrier, and then the ball's turned over, and number 68, Zach Burke, makes the recovery.
And now let's take a look at this week's Citizens National Bank Play of the Week. Again, I look in the backfield, Ring and Wiley. Ring will try left side. Cuts back from one tackler, tries to cut back to the middle of the field. Zach Ring to the corner of the end zone. Zach Ring's going to go all the way. Touchdown, 37-yard touchdown run. Zach Ring, his second score of the night. The Seminoles increase that lead to 27-6.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Buy it and store it when you can just ask Woodsfield True Value for the tools and equipment you need for your next project. Rent that auger, log splitter, 40-foot extension ladder, or pressure washer just in time for fall chores. If you need earth moving equipment, hand tools, party supplies, lawn and garden tools, or stuff for automotive kit, concrete work, plumbing, and so much more, help is just around the corner at Just Ask Rental, Woodsfield True Value.
Hi, I'm Bill Respect. 3/4 of a century ago, Grandma Respect made a commitment to give customers the best quality available at the best possible price. I'm happy to continue that commitment as I introduce you to Respect's new store brand, Our Family. It's as good as the national brand at a price that's even better. Well, I feel so good about Our Family brand. If you're not satisfied, we'll give you double your money back. Isn't it time your family had dinner with Our Family?
For over 100 years, Bauer Turner Furniture has been serving our community with quality furniture and bedding. After a big day, kick back and relax in a dual recliner sofa, or choose from living room suites featuring couches with comfy armchairs or matching recliners. Then pick the perfect coffee table and tables and lamp to suit your personality. Of course, they stock bedroom furniture to please the country, traditional, or contemporary decorator. Kitchen tables and chairs, hutches, entertainment centers, and more can be delivered to your home this week. So stop by Bauer Turner Furniture today.
Tomorrow night, the Tyler Consolidated Silver Knights will be here for Week 10. A new opponent to this year's schedule, but we have played them in the past. So I don't know, Coach, that make it a little hard to prepare for them, not being real familiar with Tyler?
Well, it's probably a little easier when you've played a team in the past years, especially if they have the same coach. This is kind of a new territory that we're going into with Tyler, and the fact, as you said, we played him several years ago. We played him about 3 or 4 years there, but we haven't played him in recent years. And they do have a new coach from in the past. So, we've had an opportunity to look at them on tape. They've had an opportunity to look at us on tape. And, we're going up against a good football team. Even their record is 4-4. They have one game following our game in West Virginia. You have 11 weeks to play 10. So they had an open date along the way. So they'll finish up with Kaiser next week. And I'm sure their kids and their coaches are thinking the same thing we are. They want to try to get a game over 500 with one game left on their schedule to finish with a winning season, and we're shooting for to end with a winning season, so it should be a good matchup. Like I say, they got a good football team. They've played some good people this year, and they've lost a couple of excellent football teams, so you can't look at their record and say they're 4-4. They're not a good football team, because they are.
Again, the fact that we have not played them in a while, and we're not real familiar with some of their opponents, who are some of the people that they've been playing this year.
Well, they started out, Jeff, with a win in week number 1. They defeated Bridgeport, West Virginia, 26-8. And then in week 2, they took on one of the hottest, if not the hottest team in West Virginia football, and that's Williamstown. Williamstown this past week, as most people know, defeated Magnolia, and they kept their winning streak going. I believe they got 44, 45 straight wins in a row. It was a close ball game. In fact, Williamstown eked out a win over Tyler in week number 2, 25-24, so that could have gone either way. In week number 3, they defeated Ritchie County 34-0, their only shutout on the slate. And then the following week, they defeated Bellsville, a team that they played for the first time, 42-16, putting a lot of points on the board. The following week, they defeated Ravenswood 25-13. The following week after that was a week that I think a lot of people were still scratching their head about and have a hard time understanding, in the fact that they lost to Oak Glen, a team that had lost 17 games in a row. Oak Glen defeated them 28-20, and I think that was a very unexpected loss by Tyler as far as Oak Glen was concerned. And then in the following week, they played the only common opponent that both teams have played this year, and that's Magnolia. They lost to Magnolia 42-24, but you've got to look at that game a little deeper to see that they gave Magnolia all they wanted. Their quarterback, Justin Lowe, threw for just under 300 yards in the first half against Magnolia, and they had Magnolia on the ropes. But Magnolia came back the second half, made some adjustments, put some more points on the board, and defeated them 42-24. Then this past week, they lost to Grafton on the road, 34-6. So as of right now, they're 4-4. Offensively, they've scored 201 points, averaging 25.1 points per game. On defense, they've given up 166, giving up defensively 20.7. So they're scoring some points. Their lowest output of the year was this past week, 6 points against Grafton. Other than that, their lowest output all year would be 20 points. So they put some points on the board, so they... they're capable of scoring because they've got some athletes. They've got some receivers. They got some kids that can run the ball, and they'll present us with a lot of problems offensively. And defensively, they've given up some points here and there, but they're a pretty good, sound football team defensively too.
Well, just from following their stats, it looks like they have a nice balance of a running attack and passing attack on their way to scoring that many points. You mentioned, the quarterback who has some good stats, and they've got a couple of good runners also.
Yeah, this is not a team that you can just zero in on stopping the run or stopping the pass. They've done a little bit of both. When you look at their rushing game, they've rushed the ball 275 times for 1,129 yards. They're averaging 34 rushes a game for 141 yards per game. And on the passing side of it, they've thrown the ball for 1,378 yards, which is not too shabby, in 8 ball games, and they have an average of 172 yards passing per game. So you put those two things together, they're doing pretty well offensively. And like I say, they've got some outstanding athletes on the offensive side of the ball. They got a big offensive line, so matchup size-wise with us should be pretty even. Their center is Matt Peters, a senior, and most of their team is a junior-senior team. He's 6 foot 210, number 61. Drew Gazer, a senior, is 6 foot 185, number 53 at one guard. Andrew Kober is a junior, 6 foot 260, number 76 at the other guard. And at the tackle, they got two big guys, Taylor Wetzel, a junior, 77, 6'2", 255. And the big guy on the other side of the line is a junior, Levi Wicherman. He's 6'4", 270, number 79. So they got some size up front. In the backfield, Justin Lowe, I mentioned, is their quarterback. He's a junior. He started there last year. In fact, most of these guys played last year because I think, if I'm not mistaken, they only had about 5, maybe 6 seniors that graduated, so most of their team is back intact. Lowe is a junior, 5'10", 170, number 12. As I said, he's completed 97 out of 175 for 1,378 yards. They'll run a couple different guys at the running backs, or 2 or 3 guys at the running back positions and a tailback position. Junior Yost is usually their fullback. He's number 22. He's a senior, 5'8", 180. He's rushed for 355 yards. But their leading rusher is Anthony Wells. He's also a senior, number 16. Pretty good athlete, 5'10", 180. He has 613 yards rushing, and he's caught the ball 12 times for 206. They'll use him as a wide receiver. They'll use him as a tailback. In fact, the last couple of weeks especially, they've been utilizing a lot of those guys, and they've been spreading it out a little bit. Trips one way, split end the other way, and only one back in the backfield. So we can look for Yost to get the ball. We can look for Wells to get the ball. We can also look for Sean Neff, who's number 44, a senior, 5'10", 175. He has 45 yards rushing, and he also has 150 yards in receptions. Their leading receiver is number 6, split end, Matt Dodson. He's just a sophomore, the only sophomore that starts. He's 5'9", 160. He has 31 catches for 376 yards. And another big target for him is senior Drew Moore, 6'3", 210. Sometimes he'll line up at the tight end. The other times he'll be split out wide. He's number 11. He can also catch the ball. So, like I say, they're going to present some problems. They gave Magnolia fits, especially in the first half. They spread it out. They threw the slants. They threw the out routes. And they completed a lot of passes, did low, and they gave them a lot of trouble.
As I noticed when you went through the scores there, they've given up a few points, especially here recently against some pretty decent people. You know, something we can attack them. You know, what can we look for defensively from the Tyler team?
Well, defensively, they're going to line up, and we think anyway they'll line up. And we thought Frontier would line up in a 40, and they jumped into a 5-3 look last week against us. So, but their base defense is a 40 defense. Coach Snively, who used to coach at River, head coach, he's, I believe, their defensive coordinator. Coach Caldwell, Rob Caldwell's their head coach, and he played for Coach Snively at River and went on to play at West Liberty State College, and he's the head coach. But Coach Snively implements the 40 defense, and they've got some good guys on that side of the ball, and they're pretty big up front. So again, they match up well with our size, and our kids are going to have to do the job, and we're going to have to try to establish a run first. It appears as though the conditions aren't going to be real good as far as the weather is concerned. The field will probably be sloppy, and how much either team will be able to throw the ball remains to be seen. So the key may be who can run the football and who can eliminate the turnovers.
Well, that's always interesting, as you say. You know, when you take on somebody you haven't played in a while, and they come at you with some things, and it is interesting too, you know, with the local flavor that they do have from here in Monroe County. So it's not like somebody's coming in from a long distance away. But that is the Tyler Consolidated Silver Knights, and they will be here tomorrow night for the final game for the Seminoles this year, and hope to see everybody there at 7:30. We'll take one more break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up right after this.
Dr. Jay Seidler and nurse practitioner Carol Shoemaker and the staff of Marietta Healthcare Physicians want to take this opportunity to thank all of their patients for your continued support over the past several years. Dr. Seidler and Carol are thrilled to come home and serve your healthcare needs. We're here for you Monday through Friday and accessible by phone at other times. So if you're already a patient, thank you. If not, call to make arrangements for transferring your medical records to Marietta Healthcare Physicians. McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell believe in supporting our kids. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. And proud to offer 24-hour drive-thru service. McDonald's food whenever you're hungry.
This is a receiver of the Woodsfield Redskins, and I'm loving it.
Stop by and try McDonald's latest chicken premium sandwiches.
We're loving it!
So before or after the big game, celebrate at McDonald's.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Celebrate 44 years with Doan Ford and experience the difference of having the largest Ford inventory in the area, state-of-the-art showroom, state-of-the-art collision center, award-winning service department, a staff that treats you like family, and the Ohio Valley's premier Ford dealership. Doan Ford has been here for 44 years and is ready to serve the community for 44 more. Find out why everyone is saying,
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Monroe Family Health Center is and always has been a part of your community.
For almost 30 years, Monroe Family Health Center has been providing excellence in comprehensive health care in Monroe County. We invite you to visit us and take advantage of our lab, x-ray, immunization, medication assistance, and other services available in Woodsfield. All insurances, including Medicaid, are accepted with a sliding fee scale based on income and family size.
4 doctors and a nurse practitioner are ready to serve you and your family.
Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-thru and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community.
Before we cover our wrap-up items here for tomorrow night's game, I want to mention some people may be familiar with an incident that took place prior to the game at Barnesville week before last, in which the Barnesville cheerleaders did a cheer on the radio on WBNV's pregame that was very disrespectful and inappropriate for the time. And the next week after that occurred, Mr. Ring at Monroe Central High School received a letter that I'm going to read. It says, Dear Monroe Central Administration, faculty, students, and fans, we would like to apologize for the comments made at the football game. It was not our intention to offend or downgrade your school or community. We hope you accept our apology and know this will not occur again. Best of luck the remainder of the year. And it is signed by the Barnesville High School cheer coaches and all of their cheerleaders. And I'd like to say thank you to Barnesville High School Principal Jeff Crozier for taking action on this matter. Now, tomorrow night, 7:30, the Tyler Consolidated Silver Knights will be here. Once again, pre-sale tickets will be available during the day tomorrow at Monroe Central High School, at Skyview Elementary, Woodsfield Elementary, and also the Marathon Station. Those tickets are $3 in advance for students and $3 for senior citizens, $4 for adults, and at the game, everyone pays $5. No radio this week, so if you're not able to be here, you'll need to join me on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock for the game replay. Sideliner board winners for this week. First quarter winner, Monroe Central golf coach Ryan Rosnick. Second quarter winner, Alexandria Stoller. Third quarter, Carl Robinson. And final score, again, to Alexandria Stoller. And those winners can pick up their checks at the Traditions Restaurant up on the square in town. The other activities going on as we usually have, 50-50 drawing. It wasn't a real big drawing because of the small crowd last week. Hopefully it'll be a lot better this week. Game ball tickets from the football moms, and also make sure you pick up a program. There'll be several prizes there as far as numbers on your program. They had trouble giving those away last week, so be sure to pick up a program and win a prize. Other than that, Coach, I don't know, we have any other items we need to mention?
Well, last week we didn't have the table set up for the items such as sweatshirts and jackets, pullovers because of the inclement weather, and I don't know whether that'll be set up again this week, but if anyone's interested in those, they can let me know and we'll get you fixed up. We do still have some long sleeve t-shirts, we have some sweatshirts, some pullovers, and some jackets that are very nice and left over, so anyone's interested in those items, let me know. Also want to remind, again, we do every week, those people that are not in the 200 Club yet that were in before, you want to get your renewal taken care of so that you're eligible for the free color TV giveaway. And those people that have not been in, we would appreciate you getting in and supporting the program by being a member of the 200 Club. So if you haven't been in, see any sideline or see me, and we'll make sure you get fixed up.
You know, one thing that we talked about a little bit last week as far as the quality of the teams that we had played, and I just did some research here. The 5 teams I believe that we have lost to, it looks like that probably all 5 of those teams are going to play in the postseason.
Yeah, I think we touched on a little bit last week, Jeff. I think, I didn't know about this week, but I didn't do any figuring, but last week, the teams that we lost to had a record of 29 wins and only 11 losses, and we talked about the number of teams that were that had good records. I think prior to that we had lost to teams 4 teams that had 6-2 records, and 1 team that had 5-3 record, and we're going to have several teams in the playoff hunt, and that just goes to show you the type of people that we have played this year. I think a lot of people going into the previous week's game against Barnesville didn't give us much chance to win, but our kids went over there and played their hearts out, and hadn't we been able to get the ball in the end zone, we could have come away with a win there, and turn around the next week and everybody thought that maybe because Barnesville had only scored 6 points against us and really didn't get one offensively, that was a fluke, and or that was a show of Barnesville not being pretty good, and they turned around and they put it on St. Clairsville, a team that had only lost 1 game. So that shows a lot of strength as far as our schedule is concerned, as far as our conference is concerned, and the people that we play. So, again, 9 points separates our kids from 3 more wins. We lost to River by 2 points in the last minute on a field goal. We lost to Caldwell by 1 point, 7-6. And we lost to Barnesville 6-0. So we could very easily have won any of those games and be looking at 6-3 instead of 3 or 4 and 5.
When you talked earlier a little bit about the record being 5-5, and I guess if you go back a few weeks to where we were and with the struggles we had earlier, 5-5 really doesn't sound too bad.
Exactly, and it's, as I told the kids, sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and if you continue to improve as the year goes on, that's a heck of a lot better than winning 2 or 3 ball games at the beginning and then going downhill. And our kids have been basically in every ball game. It's not like when you look at some teams that have only won 2, 3, 4 games, that they're getting blown out and getting beat by scores of 30 and 40 to nothing. So we're proud of our kids for that, and hopefully we can finish this thing up with a win.
Well, that's the goal for tomorrow night. So dig out the sweatshirts and the heavy coats, because I believe it's going to be the coldest night of the year thus far, and be out here and root on this football team to their 5th win of the year. I'd like to say good luck to all the 11 seniors who joined us earlier, and also good luck, Coach, and the rest of your coaching staff. And Coach and I will be back next Thursday night and recap the Tyler Consolidated game and to go over some of the things during the season and put a final wrap on the 2005 football season. And I guess in closing here, Coach, one thing I've always felt with 10 weeks of a football season probably go the fastest of any 10 weeks of anywhere.
It goes pretty quick, Jeff. Seemed like we started just not too long ago, and here we are going into the last game of the year. So it does go awful quick, and I'm sure it goes awful quick for the players, and it goes quickly for fans, because fans in this valley point toward football season as being a big thing, and they'd probably like to see it last a lot longer than it really does.
Well, that's tomorrow night at 7:30. Seminoles in action against the Tyler Consolidated Silver Knights. We hope to see you then. Good night.